Welcome to Attleboro Update. A former basketball star came to Attleboro High School last week to talk to students about the dangers of teen drug use. Chris Herren, a former NBA player for several teams including the Boston Celtics, shared his experiences with drugs that led to the downfall of his career. He now travels around the country speaking to various audiences about the possible consequences of drug use. DoubleACS spoke with him to find out more about his story and the importance of sharing his message.
I walked out of that office, my athletic director pulled me aside and said, I looked at all the cameras, I looked at my mom and dad and my grandfather in the background crying. As I, at 21 years old, said I have a major cocaine addiction, I need help. My name is Chris Herren. I'm here today at Attleboro High School to talk to the kids about substance abuse and the dangers of some choices that they can make in high school that could carry on with them for the rest of their life. I mean, this is what I do. I travel around from school to school, college to college, pro team to pro team, sharing my experience and hopefully getting out in front of one kid. My history with the Celtics, there's really not much history, man. It was 1 year I played for the Celtics, so you know, my experience with them obviously was not a good one because I was struggling with substance abuse at that time. But the experience with the Celtics, the silver lining in the story is that it's allowed me to share my story and get out there. You know, there's nothing unique about my story. There's millions and millions of people who suffer from the same illness I suffered from. It's just that I played for the Celtics. I think the final count last year was about 150,000 students last year. So I think in Massachusetts it was 90 high schools last year. But, you know, it's not just limited to high schools. It's, you know, last week I spoke to the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears. Friday I'm going to the Red Sox. So it's not just high schools. This illness and this disease does not only affect high school kids and college kids, it affects people at all levels. You know, it's classified and labeled as an illness by the highest academics in this country. That stigma has been broken, and people need to start recognizing it as an illness because illnesses get treated and not left behind.
We're very appreciative to the Recreation Commission who rounded up the sponsors for this to be able to take place. The chairman of the commission, Mr. Leo Johnson, was very instrumental in them being here, and our athletic director, Mark Hool, facilitated this for us, and this has been in the works for several months. And we're thrilled to have Chris here. We think it's a great learning opportunity for our students. I've heard Chris speak before, and he has a very powerful message. Obviously, anybody who has had success in athletics is a natural draw, and they give a great story. And you know, Chris is one that will resonate with a lot of our students. As the principal of the school, it's my responsibility to make sure that we have education going on inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And this is one of those great opportunities where there's going to be some education taking place outside of the four classroom walls, but it's going to benefit our students.
You know, I think the more messages, the better. You know, I think the more messages about substance abuse, getting out in front of kids, sharing this experience, the better. It just doesn't have to be me. I think people need to speak up, and people need to step out and stand up and say, hey, I too suffered from this, and this too can happen. You know, it would be easy for me never to look back. It would be easy for me never to recognize what I went through. That's the easy road, I believe. So for me to share my story and hopefully get out in front of these kids, you know, that's what it's all about.